Good afternoon. Welcome to this session of the DearDesigner conference. So we'll be discussing the power of collaboration. It's really a privilege to be doing this, and really grateful to Daniel and the entire DearDesigner team for this invitation. Yeah, so let's dive right in. I mean, I wish this was a live session, and I would have loved to meet with new friends and and network. Yeah, but I mean, it's still fine. We could always network on social. Yeah. So I'm Tunji Ogunoye. I'd like to just introduce myself. I'm a design partner at FourthCanvas. FourthCanvas is a brand design agency. We'll talk about FourthCanvas in a bit. And I also lead the DearDesigner community. DearDesigner is a community project that's aimed at telling the designer story and design story in Nigeria. And then I also lead design and consult for a couple of startups in Nigeria. So I'm passionate about people, design and education, and I specialize in brand design, and I have growing interest and portfolio in information design and UX. Yeah. So while I was preparing for this class, I was just going through my archives, and I discovered that there's something I've not really called myself in the past, which I've done a lot on, which is a design educator. And I was just going through my archives and see some places that I've spoken, that I've facilitated. And then, I mean, I was amazed. I thought to share with you guys. So maybe after this session, I can call myself a design educator. Maybe put it on my bio, on my CV and something. So yeah, so I would go through it and everyone just in a bit. Sorry, let me just set my timer so I don't exceed. So yeah, I was discussing design thinking at Social Media Week. I was invited by a social design studio in Nigeria, Reboot. And then I was talking about brand design with my boss at work, Victor. We're discussing brand design to product designers and usable. And then here I was teaching editorial design for at Orange Academy. It's Africa's first integrated brand experience academy in Nigeria. Here I was discussing layout design, also editorial design at Mark Free Design Bootcamp. In the middle there was 2018 in Ibadan. Ibadan is one of the largest cities in Africa. I was discussing business branding. I mean, how design influences your business as an entrepreneur. And here I was talking to a couple of media trainees on design. And then this bottom left, I was discussing career. Career is part of the things I'm most passionate about, discussing with designers. And then here I was discussing careers with students of Genisa training. Genisa is organized by Bonale Bao. And then here in the middle, I think this is the only design class I've taught myself that I've had to teach people, taking them through a course. And this was in Ibadan also last year, 2019. I was teaching a couple of guys about design. And then the last frame was also with Victor. We're teaching design for non-designers in a media agency in Nigeria here. So, I mean, going through this, I mean, you could see that maybe I can call myself an active teacher. I like gesticulating a lot. If this was a live session, maybe you see my hands flying in the air and then showing a lot of signals. Yeah. So FourthCanvas is a brand consultancy studio in Nigeria. I mean, we're about 5 years old now. Now we are a relatively small agency with less than about 15 or less designers, strategists, growth hackers, on the team. So we call ourselves design agents for the few who know that good is not enough. And then over the years, we've been privileged to work with a lot of startups of Nigeria and even beyond. Also worked with some government agencies. And most of our work this year, a couple of them that we've finished, they've not launched yet, so we don't have the permission to share. And then there's about 3 or 4 that it's ongoing at the moment. That's still in progress. But you could be familiar with Piggyverse. Piggyverse is a Nigerian fintech startup. It's a savings app. We worked on their rebrand last year, which was end to end, from strategy to identity to management. And then also, sometime in 2018, we worked with the industrial government to design identity for Develop Ondo, which is supposed to be the face of investment for the state. And early last year also, we worked on the branding of a new commercial bank in Nigeria, Titan Trust Bank. And they launched mid last year. Yeah. So, I mean, they are picking up. I mean, in a saturated environment already, it's good to have an identity that stands out easily. And that was what we did for them. Yeah, and DearDesigner is my brainchild. It's a community here in Nigeria. It's a community project. I call it a community project and a community. And then we launched officially 27 May last year. And then over the past 1 year to 1 year, 4 months, we've been able to do a couple of things within the Nigerian design space, which is so our major goal is to document the story of the Nigerian designer and design, and also to maximize the experience within the community. So, I mean, I'm really, really excited about what DearDesigner has done and is still doing about sharing knowledge, sharing ideas within the community. I mean, that's part of the things that we do at DearDesigner. We want to make sure that within the community there is knowledge saturation. So when you are thinking of learning, you're not only thinking of learning from professionals outside Nigeria or outside Africa. You are thinking of learning from people like you, those who have gone through what you are about to go through, those who have the same story, the same context as you. Yeah, and over the years, I mean, over these few months, we had an event at Social Media Week last year where we discussed design for the Nigerian. We had a varying panel of brand designers, digital artists, product designers, marketing professionals. And also on the blog, we share articles, profiles, and case studies. That's Design the XYZ. We share articles, profiles, and case studies regularly. And also we have good conversations. And recently we launched a mentorship program with peers, younger professionals to more experienced ones, to guide them through their journey, to teach them some direct stuff and get to ask questions. So we started August 3rd with 101 mentees paired to 14 mentors. Some mentors have 1, some mentors have 2, some have 3 mentees. And I mean, it was a really humbling experience for me because we had over 1,600 persons apply. I mean, we could only pick or select 101. I mean, it's a good start. We hope that in the next editions, we're able to have more than 101. Yeah, so what is collaboration? Let me just go straight into the topic of today. So I checked Google, and then Google said collaboration is a process of 2 or more people or organizations working together to complete a task or achieve a goal. Yeah. So yeah, FourthCanvas call it partnership. I mean, I would still discuss in depth into our typical way of working with our clients, which I think we could learn from. Yeah. So we call it partnership. So the basic definition is an action of working with someone to produce something. So in the creative space, who are the someone that we work with? So who are those we work with in the creative space? Who are the people we have to discuss or collaborate with to achieve the result? So we have clients. Clients are those who, I mean, bring us on board of a project that initiate the conversation. Okay, let's do this. Can you do this for me? We have users. Users are those who use the things we're doing, be it a product, be it marketing material, be it a brand design. People use it. People interact with it. Then the in-house design team. So those are the people you work with, maybe in your agency or in your setup. Those are people that you work with to get the job done. I mean, it could be seniors, juniors, interns, illustrators. I mean, and lots of that. And other internal stakeholders, which is maybe the strategists, the creative directors, the product managers, project managers, the copywriters. And also we have outsourced vendors, which are printers and the likes. I mean, we know those who we outsource to. And it could also be even an illustrator, maybe an agency is working on a project and then they have to bring in a freelance illustrator to collaborate with them on that project. Yeah. So I'm picking it one by one, and I'm discussing how collaboration helps at these various levels. So we shouldn't only see collaboration as working with your fellow designers on your team to achieve something for a client. You see it as 360 degrees, that's all around. You're trying to see how your work can permeate through every level. So the theme for this event is creative entrepreneurship, which is establishing designers to think beyond creating and think business and think achieving more for themselves and think because many times a lot of designers are only focused on the skill, only focused on the software, only focused on typography, only focused on colors. But I mean, this is a level, but to achieve the next level, we all need to learn beyond design. We all need to understand entrepreneurship. We need to understand business. We need to understand how what we do affects our clients and affects people. Yeah. So I started with clients. So there's something on our website that says great work done together. So at FourthCanvas, we don't work for clients. We work with them. And that's one of our biggest assets. So we don't see ourselves as vendors. We don't see ourselves as get this done. We see ourselves as partners. We see ourselves as how can we help you? In what best way can we be of help to your business? Understand? And then partnership involves you having an ownership mentality that this is not just doing something for someone, this is doing something with someone. You are ensuring that you are not just there for the money, you are not just there for the gains. You are there to ensure that the business progresses. You are there to ensure that the client needs are met. You are there to ensure that their goals, their business goals, they are achieved. So great work done together. What we do with our clients is that at every phase, we are in talks with them. Mornings, afternoon, nights, we are in talks with them. We ensure that we carry them along in every stage of the process. So it's not a case that we go AWOL for weeks and then we come back with solutions. You understand? We ensure that along the process, along every milestone, they are carried along. So when they see the result, it's not strange to them. It's something that we are arrived at together. You understand? And that's something creatives must understand. That for clients and creatives, we are coming from two different worlds. The client is thinking business, is thinking numbers, is thinking people management. But creatives are thinking visuals, are thinking design elements, are thinking about a lot of stuff that are fancy, that are technical for the client to understand. And then if you must truly do something great, you have to leave where you are and learn from the client and try to understand the context that you're working on, try to understand the peculiarity of the project. And the only person that can supply this effectively is the client, because there is no way you can understand a business or a project without having spoken effectively to the stakeholder, to the business owner. Yeah. So, and this shouldn't be done at the start alone or at the end. You should make sure that at every level, at every stage of the project, you are in talks. If you have questions at any time, you should be willing to pick up your phone, put a call across, or send a mail and clarify. You shouldn't shunt the communication gap while the project is ongoing. You understand? So you still stay in touch, because that is true collaboration. You are not just because what happens when you do a project and then you move on, you go AWOL and then you come back after a while to say, okay, this is the result. What happens is that the client feels strange. It feels like, I mean, we're not talking for a while and then the result is here. And it's not, at some levels that could be permissible, but at some other levels it may not work. It won't work. The client wants to understand everything you're doing. He wants to be carried along, and that's what we do at FourthCanvas. We ensure that throughout the process we are in constant communication. We're in constant talks to them. We are open to everything they have to say. And then there are some myths about clients that affect collaboration, which I would like to dispel. So a lot of times you say they don't know what they want. That's not true. Every client knows what they want. The issue is always in the context, in the gap. So they may not be able to communicate what they want in the way that we easily understand. But the thing is, if we ask correct questions, if we ask the true questions, we can feel the pulse of what they really want for their business. And then we can go ahead and then carry out and then interpret it to design, interpret it to how it influences people directly. And then people say clients know nothing. That is not true. There is no much of a thing you know that trumps what the client knows about his or her business. The client is the god, in quote, of the business. And then you don't go around and think that the client knows nothing. The client knows everything about the business, more than you will ever know. Understand? And then if you're creating something for the business or for the project, you should learn very well of what the client knows about the business, because that influences your work directly. And then people say clients are problematic. That's not true. Clients want the best for their business. They want the best for their project. They want the best that can be done. And then they will go all out to ensure that they get that best from you. Understand? It is your duty as creatives to ensure that you don't see the advances as problem. You see it as concern. You see it as what needs to be. You understand? So if we clear all these myths, we would collaborate better with clients. We'll get the best result. Because really, the best result is not when we do our best. It is when we understand what the client really wants to achieve, and then we infuse our own knowledge, our own perspective, our own expertise to make sure to bring that to life. So the goal is not that we express ourselves creatively. It's not that we use the elements to solve the problem. The goal is that we understand deeply what the clients want. We understand deeply what the clients, what the expectations are, and then carry that into the project. Now, for users are those who eventually use anything we do. Target audience, demographics, users. I mean, these are people that eventually use what we do for the client. So it's important that we understand what their pain points are. You understand, and we know how to interpret their indirect cues. So the users are not technical like we are. They won't tell you that I want color yellow. They won't tell you that I want color red. You understand? But by describing in words, I want to feel comfortable. That's a cue you can pick from. I want to feel lively. You understand? So these are the things that users might tell you. And then because they are not technical people, if care is not taken, you might not interpret what they're saying well. But you have to understand that users would go as basic as they can be, as expressive as they can be. You understand? But it's our duty to interpret these indirect cues to things that can be visualized there. So, and always get feedback and test, always. Most of the time, we are always engrossed with our own stuff that it looks perfect to us. It looks very good to us. Understand? But at the end, we are just one in a million of people that will use that thing eventually. So it's important that we get feedback. Let us talk to them. What do you see? Use this product. How do you feel? Look at this ad. What does it make you feel? You understand? And get tangible and get real life results from these users. It's better to test with one user than to at every step of the process than to wait to the end and then test with a number of users. At every stage, at every level, we need to get feedback. We need to be in constant talks with the users. And this is not rocket science. It could be as direct as talking to your friend that is not a designer. It could be as good as talking to your family member that's not a designer, talking to your younger ones that are not designers. Yeah. So next level is in-house design team, non-design or design. So in a team, we have to understand collaboration as a strength thing. It's not the case of, I can't do this now, you're feeling bad. No. Understanding your strength and weakness is a sign of collaboration. So you have to know what you can do. You have to understand what you can't do, at least for now. Understand? And then you bring your strength to the team, and then someone else brings his own strength to the team, and someone else brings his own strength to the team, and then we achieve something great. So the truth is that we can't know everything. I'll come back to my previous slide. The chances that you will do everything very well are way lower than the chance that you do one thing better, at least than your colleague and friend. So I always say that you can't do everything. You can't do everything. I mean, nobody can do everything. So don't try to. But let's assume you can do everything. But the chances that you can do everything is way, way lower than the chance that you can do one thing, at least that one thing better than your colleague. So we should focus on that one thing that we can do as creatives, you understand, and bring our strength to the thing. It doesn't mean that we totally neglect these things we can't do, you understand. It means that as we are picking up the things we can't do, we have even people to teach us. So imagine I'm on a team with Daniel, for instance, and then Daniel is a crazy typographer. Daniel understands typing, he understands typewritten, he can create a custom typeface. And me, for instance, I am very good with image treatment, which Daniel is not good at. So if we work together, I bring my strength from image treatment, Daniel brings the strength from typography, and then we do something amazing. So in the future, if I want to learn typography, because Daniel has mastered typography, it's easy for me to learn from him. Because I've mastered image, it's easy for Daniel to learn from me. But if we all go out in the first place trying to learn everything, and at the end, we just know a little about everything. You understand? Now, there's hardly anything I'll be able to teach Daniel because what I know, Daniel knows. And then there is no strength. There is nothing Daniel can man. There's nothing I can man because, I mean, we are all basic level. So it's good that we understand strength. We understand strength, and that is what brings the best out of a team when everybody is at its full strength. It doesn't mean that you won't learn every other thing, but there's something you are bringing to the team that is that is invaluable, that is priceless. So collaboration brings the best in the team. I spoke about that already. And don't feel used. So let me just talk about this briefly, because a lot of times creatives in an agency, they feel like they are being used. Even if that is true, you understand? Focus on yourself, because at the end, it is for your profit. It is you that gain a lot. You understand? At the end of everything, it is you that gain a lot. I mean, the things you learn under duress, the things you learn even against your will, at that time might prove very important to you in your next career phase, in your dealing with the next client and working on the next project. So even if you feel like I am being used, even if you feel like I am being I am not doing what I want to do, I am doing the things that maybe I really do want to do in the first place. But really, in that thing is strength, because at the end, it is you that is learning, even though it's bringing more money to your team, but you are learning, and you have that thing that you've been meant to do without your interest. It is you that is learning eventually, and then it could prove very vital for you. So don't feel down, and also fail to learn, because at that time you are losing at both ends. You likely lose your job and you're not learning. So why not just in that process of being used, in that process of feeling as if you are doing what you don't want to do, why not focus on that thing that you can learn, that can prove valuable to your next phase? Now, as I round up, the strength of collaboration is clarity of communication. So at every level, you're working with a strategist, you're working with a copywriter, you're working with a fellow designer, you have to be clear. And you don't just communicate what you want. You also communicate why you want what you want. You communicate what this thing that you want, what it should achieve. What this does is that it brings the other person in the same vein, in the same light as you. It brings the other person that, okay, this person, this is what he wants, and this is why he wants what he wants. So you don't just communicate what you want. You communicate why you want what you want. You communicate the effect what you want would have on the end goal. You communicate your metrics. So in that way, you are bringing the other person to the same knowledge, the same light as you. You understand? So communicate clearly. That's the strength of collaboration. Communicate clearly, you understand, to the other person that maybe wants to assist you in doing something. And second thing is individual ownership. How we all can do the best of, achieve the best of what we want to achieve is by owning that thing that's been put on our laps. So you don't just feel like, I will do what I can do. and then every other thing can happen. No, you are trying to own it. You're trying to ensure that this part, this one of five that was committed to your ends, you own it as if it's your company. You own it as if it is yours. It's your brainchild. It's something that you have to do. It's something that you are owning as yours. Imagine it's yours. How would you do it? So you're not just seeing collaboration as that. I mean, I would do what I can do. I can't kill myself. It's a popular parlance in Nigeria. I can't kill myself. No, own it. Take responsibility on that one thing that you're doing out of five. Understand? If everybody of the five takes full responsibility, takes full ownership of that part of the project, of that part of the project, yeah, at the end, we are achieving so much more because nobody is babying the other person on what he's supposed to do. If it's just a little thing, if it's just let's have color options for this identity, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're not dealing with sketch. You're not dealing with finding typeface. You're just let's see the color options. You have to go above and beyond and exhaust everything possible according to your knowledge. You don't just say, I will just do what I have to do and then move on. No, you have to own it. You have to communicate with your juniors, communicate with your seniors, communicate with everybody around you. That's 360-degree leadership. You are trying to make sure that you're not just a lone ranger. You are talking to those beneath you. You are talking to those ahead of you. Understand? Because there's something you need to give at every level. You need to give guidance for those coming behind. You need to give support to those who are above. And then you need to share some knowledge on your level among your peers. And then this is a path to creative entrepreneurship. Owning it. Because at the end, it will be you alone doing much more than you're doing. It will be you doing prayer management. It will be you doing client communication. So, but if you don't own that one thing, as tiny as color is, if you don't own it, then it would be a big issue for you to own more than it eventually. Yeah. So, and I will close with this story from recent project 4C, which is about communication, which is, so we're working with a client. It was a while ago, and then we are at the face of a project. And then all we were concerned about was trying to express an identity. And then the client was talking about he needs to see a bit more color options. Yeah. And then it was communicated, but what was communicated was just what they wanted. And what we're communicating was just what we also wanted to do. And then it seems as if it was in line. But we didn't talk about the intent, we didn't talk about the goals. So you don't just end at talking about what you want in communication. Because that person is not a zombie, he's not a robot. He won't just say, oh, let me do this and then I'm done. The person wants to also feel like human. He wants to understand why you're telling me to do what I'm supposed to do. Why? You understand? What does he want to achieve? And it's until we have this information that we can own it, that we can own a project. So in communicating, you have to ask questions. You have to be clear. Don't assume you are clear. When the person has spoken to you already, you might try to summarize. Okay, so what you're telling me to do is to do this, and to do this, because of this, because of that, to achieve this. So if you try and restate it, then it says, yes, okay, this is what I was talking about. It says, oh, no, you're correct there, but this is not correct. So it's important that we clearly communicate, and communication is two-way. So it's not just from the person giving you directives. It is also from you getting the directives. And the truth is that, no, you shouldn't leave to get directives. You shouldn't leave to be directed. You should leave to discuss, to profile solutions, to own a part of a project, not just to, all you have to do is just take directives and execute now. No. All right. So I think I spent a few minutes more, but this is the end of the session. So we can always connect on social. FourthCanvas is the agency I'm a partner at. DearDesigner is the community I spoke about earlier, and the Tunji is my personal account. So you can always connect on social. If you have any questions to ask, if you have anything that we think we can maybe talk on and do together, just message me on Instagram, Twitter, anywhere. This is my handle. And then if you want to keep tabs on the community that I'm building, it's DearDesigner, and then also on our projects at FourthCanvas. It's at FourthCanvas. Yeah, thank you so much, the Ghana design community, Dex Ghana. I hope to see you guys maybe in the near future. And then let's stay safe. Let's keep safe. I mean, for all creatives who are joining this session all over the world, let's stay safe. Let's maintain social distance. Let's use our masks. Let's do our personal hygiene. Yeah. Thank you very much, Daniel. I'm amazing props here.